Hi, I'm Matt.
Hey there, I'm Bianca.
And in this video, we're talking about when you can spot somebody in the lifestyle just out and about in public without any clues. I like to call it Play-Dar.
That's right. This is going to be a fun one. Keep watching.
So Play-Dar.
Yeah.
Play-Dar is like something that's hard to describe, but is super, super common. And I think that the longer that you're in the lifestyle, the better you get at it.
Sure.
Yes, it's obvious when someone's wearing a shirt like this. and you're at the mall or something and you see somebody in a shirt with a bunch of upside down pineapples and you're like, okay, it's clearly they have a bag or something. Like, we run into that all the time.
I don't totally agree with you though.
Okay, why not?
Because if you're at the mall, I mean, they sell shirts like this all over the place, so it doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Yes, absolutely. Pineapples are just pineapples. Pineapples mean hospitality as well. However,
pineapples are just really in right now.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you.
Which makes lifestyle people really happy because it's easy to find fun stuff.
That is true. However, if you do see somebody, like you see a man with a pineapple shirt on and a woman with a pineapple shirt on, they might just really like pineapples.
They might just
like
pineapples.
Your Play-Dar starts to go off. You look at that couple and you're like, yeah, I can see it. But interesting enough, before the pineapple thing became a big thing, and that's only been in really the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Before that, there was concepts like, if you've ever heard like a black ring on the right finger and all this kind of stuff. There were different ways over the years that people tried to make it so it was blatantly obvious if you were in a lifestyle that you could kind of clue into who else is there. But then they didn't, nothing really ever took off until the pineapple thing. But even the pineapple thing is still questionable because someone might just like pineapples. Unless they literally are wearing a shirt that is an upside down pineapple, or they have like a tattoo like this one that's, like upside down pineapples. It's like, okay, that's blatantly obvious. If they just have pineapples, then it's a little bit different. But I've always found with my Play-Dar, which is very good, because would you agree it's very good?
I think you like to think that it's very good.
How many times over the years have I been like, oh yeah, that couple is lifestyle, and you're like, no, they're not. And then later on they come up to us and they're like, so we love your videos. What? Bullshit! What?
I can only think of one.
Many times.
No.
That couple that's good friends of ours right now.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, that's the one?
Yes.
Oh, please.
Yes.
How about the other couple that you're like, no, that you always hang out with, and then suddenly she's like, I love your videos.
That I always hang out.
All right. Anyway, yes, it happened. It's happened many times over the years where I was like, yeah. And Play-Dar is one of those things where it's hard to describe, but it's totally true. It's totally true. And I have to believe some places in the country it's easier than others. But for example, you're at the mall, nobody's got pineapples on. People, at least in the Seattle area, keep to themselves a little bit. They smile, whatever, but they generally look away. You see a couple that they're making eye contact as you're walking by. That's weird. Like, not weird. Weird's the wrong word. That's unusual. And there have been definitely times where we're walking somewhere public and I would see a woman or a man, doesn't even matter, because men, not necessarily from a sexual standpoint, just from a open standpoint, will make eye contact and keep that and smile. It's hard to describe, but to me it's obvious. And I feel like I've been right 98% of the time. Yep.
It's hard to know. How do you know if you're right or not if they don't
because sometimes they come out. Sometimes it comes back later on and I'm like, see, I told you. Yes, you're right. You're right that there are probably situations where they don't and they disappear off the face of the earth. However, there have been quite a few times where I was like, I saw it. And then, a good example would be, so we go on lifestyle cruises often, a few times a year, and we'll be just down in Florida. Yes, Florida has a lot of lifestyle people. There's no question about that. But it's not everybody by any means. It's still a small percentage of the population. But we'll be at the airport, for example, arriving, or flying somewhere or whatever. And there's just an air about a lifestyle couple that it's noticeable. And I would say we have that air. Like if you were in the lifestyle and you saw us even without this shirt on and you didn't know us and you just looked at us and you just saw how we were just kind of acting in public, like our personality and how we're smiling and friendly and saying hello to strangers and all that, that's unusual.
Yes.
And is very lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. And it's hard to turn off.
It's hard to turn off. And
do you remember when we were at that show in Seattle? And we went to a burlesque show in Seattle. We were with a group of lifestyle friends.
Yeah.
But we walked down the aisle and we heard people say, "Oh my gosh, those are swingers."
Yeah, they could actually tell.
Yeah, but I mean, we did get recognized as well. Well, a different group, I think, that recognized us.
Yeah, there were quite a few people there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, swingers like burlesque. But it was one of those things that, like, I remember that because literally walking into that theater that had a few hundred people in it, I remember literally just kind of like glancing across the crowd, like looking for eye contact, looking for people. Mm-hmm. And if someone saw me doing that, that is Play-Dar, because people just don't do that.
Right. And especially if you're wearing something like this.
Well, again, that's obvious, but I'm talking about that connection that seems to happen because vanilla people just don't do that. And lifestyle people in general do that. When you are, I mean, and I'm not necessarily saying if you're on the prowl, you're looking for other lifestyle people, but when you're in a crowd of people, because I know I absolutely do this, where I just kind of look at everybody. We're in the mall. I just bouncing around, like looking at men, women, whatever, just kind of not necessarily making eye contact, just looking at everybody. And if someone sees me doing that, because they're doing that as well, that connection absolutely happens. We could be wrong. We could be wrong, but again, when we've done that in Florida, it's like we've done that at airports, and we've seen it, and we're like, oh yeah, that couple is clearly lifestyle, and you're like, no, they're not, Matt. No, they're not, Matt. And then we happen to see them again at the hotel or on the cruise, and we're like, we saw you guys at the airport, and it's a thing. I mean, do you agree with me? Like, do you agree with Bianca where she's like, no, this isn't a real thing?
I'm not saying it's not a real thing. I'm just saying that I don't think you're always right about people that we know out in the wild, like friends of ours or whatever, that you're like, they know when you're out and about and you're looking at, all the hundreds of people at the mall or at a show or whatever. Yes, there are going to be other swingers there. Yeah. And they are going to be more obvious than someone else because of the way that they interact with each other, the way they interact with their friends, what they wear, how, all of that. There are factors that say, yes, they are probably in the lifestyle. But my issue is, you think everybody's in the lifestyle. You think every friend that I have that's vanilla is in the lifestyle. And it's just like, I don't necessarily agree with you. And I spend a lot more time with some of these people that I don't know that I don't agree with you. The person that I know that you're talking about, I think that I recently had a meal with, they didn't say anything about the lifestyle, about watching our videos. She never said videos. She never said any of that. She was asking about a vacation and said...
Okay, wait. Before you get to that point of what they said, okay, let me give you backstory on this. Okay, so this is an old client of yours years ago from when you used to work. You guys, once you retired, they're like, hey, let's hang out, let's be friends. And you're like, okay,
we
cool.
both said that.
Sure, yeah. Why not, right? And then they invited us to hang out, which that's not totally abnormal.
No.
As a couple to go want to hang out with another couple, whatever. But then I'm there and I'm like, oh yeah. Clearly, either they're in lifestyle or they're people who have, like, for example, watched our videos or something like that, and we're like, they're tiptoeing in or they have questions or whatever, because we have had a lot of vanilla people over the year who have reached out to us and been like, we want to kind of get into this too, like, and they just happen to spot us or whatever. And so I'm like, oh yeah, clearly that's the case with this couple. They are clearly in lifestyle. And you're like, no. And then you guys are having this conversation. She says to you,
she just asked if one of the cruises that we go on, she said something about her husband was asking if it was a full takeover or if it was...
if vanilla people were allowed.
If it was a vanilla cruise.
Kind of an odd thing for a vanilla person to say, wouldn't you say?
I'm just saying, like, they may know what we do.
They've never brought it up.
They may know what we do. They may be very okay with what we do. They may still want to hang out with us because I'm really fun to hang out with.
Sure.
They may still want to come to our meet and greet like our vanilla parties that we have. They may still want to invite us to do things because I'm a fun person.
You are a fun person.
That doesn't mean they want to fuck us.
I never said that. I never said that.
That doesn't mean they're in the lifestyle. It doesn't mean they want to be in the lifestyle. They may know we're in the lifestyle. That doesn't mean that they want to be in the lifestyle. We've had so many vanilla friends in the past that are like, that's so cool that you do that. So not for me. I have too many jealousy issues. I have too many of this. But tell me everything. Like, I want to know all of it. And this could be that situation where...
And then we used to host orgies, and then those people would come to our orgies and be like,
what people?
You had some girlfriends.
I had one girlfriend who was single and was like, yeah, I'll come to that. And she didn't want to do anything, and she ended up in the middle of stuff. One girlfriend. I'm talking friends who are like, I'm just saying, like, not everybody. Some people are very curious about the lifestyle,
sure.
but not everybody wants to be a part of it, and that's okay.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. But
I'm not going to push them. I'm not going to be like,
never said that either.
I know you didn't, but I'm not going to push the conversation. I feel like if they want to ask me about things.
She did.
She didn't. She asked if it was vanilla or if it was a full takeover, and I said, oh no, that one's vanilla. Vanilla people go on it. We just take a group of people.
Wouldn't you say that was the conversation opener that she was probably pretty nervous to ask
She
about?
didn't ask any follow-up questions.
She threw that at you.
What would you have suggested that I say to her?
Oh, I'm surprised you asked that question. Are you guys in the lifestyle? Is it really that hard? Like,
no, because what if
she clearly knew what it was, right?
I don't know.
You still don't, even though you just said that.
I don't know.
You said that she asked about vanilla people.
I need more from her. More solid. I need more than a hint. You know this.
That wasn't a hint. The fact that you brought this conversation up to me and you're like, this conversation happened and she said that, but I was so shocked that she said that.
It's going to be fun to have her go on a cruise with us.
Oh, okay. All right.
You'd be the one vanilla person on the cruise with us.
Sure. I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that once you've been doing this for a long time, you start to just notice people in the vanilla world that you think are in the lifestyle. And yes, you could be wrong. Mm-hmm. Okay. However, the longer you're doing this, and please feel free to agree or disagree in the comments, the longer you're doing this, the better you are at spotting people. It's hard to describe what it is, how it works, but it's totally a thing.
But there's no way to know if you're right unless you go have a conversation with them or see them somewhere.
That's why the pineapple shirts are good, because then you're throwing that in their way, mm-hmm. and then if that couple's looking at you, we've been on Virgin cruises with vanilla people, and they're like they'll come up, they see me with an upside down pineapple shirt, and they're probably vanilla, and they look at me, and then they look at you, and they up and down, and they look at me and thumbs up. Clearly, they know what that is. That's clearly not them saying we are lifestyle mm-hmm. people. That's someone who just knows what the lifestyle is. If that exact same couple saw my upside down pineapple shirt, looked at you, did the up and down, and said, "Hi, I'm Bob. How you guys doing?"
Sure.
A vanilla couple wouldn't do that. They just wouldn't do that.
Sure.
And those are the types of things that can open up the conversation, can start things off, can be just kind of tiptoeing, just like that person who said that thing to you about being vanilla was kind of a tiptoe into, let's open up this conversation. And you kind of shut it down.
I didn't shut it down. I answered her question.
That's true.
There was no follow-up.
Okay. If this person is watching this video right now, follow up, because clearly her and I have a very different opinion on what happened, and they're probably watching this right now. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we were asking," and Bianca just was like that. So what do you think? Is Play-Dar a real thing? Am I totally off base? Is she totally off base? We'd love to hear your opinion on this, especially if you've been doing this a while. Even if you're brand new to lifestyle and you're like, you're feeling something, like you pick up something from another couple, and again, not with the pineapples, it's you just get a vibe, mm-hmm. a vibe that you're like, oh, that couple is clearly lifestyle. You could be wrong, but if you could give us a little bit more descriptors maybe on what you feel, what you think. Like, I feel like it's an eye contact, is an eye contact and an openness mm-hmm. is probably the best way to describe it. Mm-hmm. And that's not the perfect way to describe it, but it's there. It's there, and I think I'm good at it.
I know you think you're good at things.
Yeah, welcome to my life. Yeah.
I gotta bring you down a little bit.
Sure.
I gotta keep you on like the same level.
Do you think you have good Play-Dar?
I don't have good. No.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. I'm going to say I absolutely agree with you.
I'm pretty sure anybody who knows me would 100% agree.
That's interesting. Let's see, if I weren't me and I saw us in the mall and I saw Matt making eye contact, but I saw you going, I'd be like, that would probably be a little bit trickier. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think I'm like this.
No, but you don't make eye contact.
I don't make eye contact, and I don't like pay attention because you guys will say someone checked you, or like our kids will be like, oh my God, that guy was totally checking you out. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just in my own world. I've got my shopping list in my head. I've got like whatever. I'm like, ooh, look at shoes. I'm just like, I'm not paying attention to people.
Well, yeah. So, I'd love to hear your opinion on all this. And of course, if you like what we do with these videos and that, feel free to push that little like button. Yeah. It just kind of shares with the world that this video is worth watching and you like what we're doing. And the more people who click the like button, the more it shows to other people that this is a cool video. Yeah. So we appreciate that. Right. And of course, subscribing is always a good thing. And of course, if you hadn't heard yet, we have been demonetized by YouTube after all these years, which happens. We're apparently so sexy. We do have a Patreon account, and feel free to join that. It's less than a cup of coffee, and we'd appreciate it. Yeah. If you learn something off of all this kind of stuff, or you find us entertaining, feel free. And of course, go to www.clubsapphire.net. I don't know why I say www.
I don't know. Everybody knows.
That hasn't existed in like 20 years, but I still still say it. You still can type that. Yeah. You still can type that. Clubsapphire.net, and check out all the amazing events that they have going on.
So many events going on. So many fun things.
Many days of the week. Yeah. Many days of the week, and we really, really have some fun with them.
That's right.
All right. Well, anything else you want to say?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.